reports indigenous American ancestry.
Oh, yeah.
Tina grew up believing that two of her grandparents were part Native American.
But you're only 1% Native American. You know how your family has always thought that you had all this Native American heritage?
Yes.
It was white heritage that you had.
All this time I've been thinking Indian. I was dying to find out what tribe it was.
You're from the tribe of Europe.
Wow.
And I'm 3% Native American. So I got just a little Indian in me.
You got a little Indian in you. 0% Native American. And 0% Native
There
American.
you go.
And 0% who were Native American.
I'm going to have to tell the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma now. I misrepresented myself. I'm not Choctaw at all, you know.
And you'll see there's no figure for Native American because you ain't got no Native American.
Set the record straight.
Even Don Cheadle, who we would expect to have some Native American ancestry because of the connection to the Chickasaw, members of your family owned by Native Americans. But we don't find any.
Wow.
And you're not alone in not having any measurable Native American ancestry. 1 in about every 20 African Americans only 1 in 20 has any significant amount of Native American ancestry.
So apocryphal. Yeah. No. Turns out they didn't really dig you that much.
To get to the bottom of this contradiction, for once and for all, I've invited an expert on Native American history to meet me at Harvard, Dr. Claudio Sant. Claudio, one common belief among African Americans is that the slaves managed to escape from plantations and find refuge with their Native American brothers and sisters. They'd sit around the campfire, slapping five and smoking a peace pipe with Cochise. Did this happen?
In some cases it happened, but just as often these fugitive slaves were captured by Indians and returned to the planters. And in fact, the colonies had policies, they implemented policies of rewarding Indians who returned fugitive slaves. They might be given 2 guns and a kettle if they brought back a live slave, and half as much if they brought back a dead slave, or rather the 2 ears of a dead.
What you talking about, Willis?
100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. In exile in his own land. In his own land.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!